Welcome, everyone, to Christian World News. I'm Wendy Griffith. Millions of people are pouring into the streets of Iran, calling for the end of the Islamic regime. The government cutting off internet access and threatening to crack down. Amid the chaos, there is hope. The gospel is spreading throughout the country. Chris Mitchell has our story.
From Isfahan to Tehran and all of Iran's 31 provinces, millions of Iranians are calling for the overthrow of the regime and death to the dictator. President Trump posted on Truth Social that more than 1 million rallied in the streets of Iran's second largest city, forcing regime forces to leave. In some cities, protesters are attacking police headquarters and the dreaded Bajij, the shock troops used by the regime to quench the protests. So far, more than 2,000 protesters have been arrested and dozens killed. The U.S. State Department is publishing posts in Persian to the Iranian people with President Trump's statement that if the regime kills protesters, the U.S. will intervene. In an attempt to smother those protests, the regime is shutting down the internet, and some reports are emerging of massacres by government forces during the blackout. Despite the internet shutdown, the momentum of the movement seems to be escalating. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi issued a call for action for yesterday and today.
Starting precisely at 8 p.m. wherever you are, whether in the streets or even from your own homes, I call on you to begin chanting exactly at this time. Based on your response, I will announce the next calls to action.
Many say Iranians are now looking to Pahlavi.
They are chanting the final battle. This is more important because they are chanting this is the final battle. Pahlavi will return because it's a clear vision. They want Islamic Republic overturned and they want a Pahlavi regime back.
But despite decades of tyranny, the gospel has flourished in Iran. Hormoz Shariat of Iran Alive Ministries telling CBN's The Global Lane how the word is spreading.
Every year, Gary, every year, I said, things in Iran cannot get any worse. And then it does. Then spiritually, I say, this cannot get any better. People in Iran are so open to the gospel. And then it gets better. If you look at the number of salvation, if you look at our curve of number of people who have come to salvation, it starts small 25 years ago, but it's growing exponentially. It's amazing. The curve jumping. The number of people coming to Christ is growing exponentially.
And joining us now is Lana Silk of the ministry Transform Iran. Lana, thank you so much for being with us. What are you hearing from inside Iran? Is there a belief the regime might be overthrown?
I think that people are daring to believe, Wendy. They had a sense of that a few years ago when they were protesting for Mahsa Amini in 2022. And then even the summer when Israel attacked in the 12-day war with the U.S. Again, people thought maybe this could be it. But the language is more and more confident, more and more expectant. And people seem to be thinking, right, this is the last push. Let's go for it.
Describe the economic situation, Lana, for Iranians today, and why do they blame their leaders?
They blame their leaders because Iran is not a poor country. Iran is oil rich, has lots of natural resources, and there is a potential for an excellent life for Iranian people. There's been a lot of mismanagement, a lot of corruption, but of course the escalating war with Israel has really just been that last straw that broke the camel's back, especially after the war in June when so much was spent attacking Israel, and then Iran itself, of course, was attacked. And then what normal governments would do would be to turn internally and help the people who've been affected by the war, help rebuild businesses, help rebuild infrastructure, and instead all that money was respent in military, in defense, in preparing for another round with Israel. And the people are struggling to put food on their tables, so they've had enough.
Well, as we just heard in Chris's story, the church in Iran is growing. How are Christians sharing the gospel during this time of economic and political unrest?
Christians in Iran share it in person. I mean, it's crazy if we think about the ramifications and risks that they're taking, and yet they're so bold and so excited to bring this life-giving word to their brothers and sisters who are struggling. You know, there's so much hopelessness, so much depression, anxiety, and so of course when they have the answer, when they have the words of Jesus, they don't want to keep it to themselves. We are fueling that with digital media from outside, with satellite TV, radio, social media, apps, every way that we can to strengthen that message and make sure those who are looking for something different are finding Jesus.
And that, of course, is great news. But the persecution, it's always there, isn't it? And I understand it's gotten worse since the war with Israel and the latest protests.
Yes, it does. It was interesting listening to your clip earlier about the comment about we think it can't get any worse, and then it does. And that really is the case, that the government, when they get angry, when they get nervous or scared, immediately the people that they blame are the Zionists, which would be the Christians and the Jews. And particularly after the war in June, they were very concerned to find who the dissidents, who the traitors were that helped Israel and America come together with an attack as targeted as they did. And they continue to do that. They want to wipe out the Christians. They've made no secret of that, and they hunt them down.
And how can we pray right now for the church in Iran?
Pray for strength and courage. The church in Iran is not a weak and quiet church. It's a body of believers who know the cost to follow Jesus and are prepared to pay it. So pray for them to be wise in the steps that they take, but also to continue in courage to bring the light to those dark places where they're penetrating with the gospel of Jesus. Pray for protection. Pray for blind eyes for the authorities not to see what they're doing, and for their safety.
And Lana, currently you're CEO of the U.S. branch of Transform Iran. Later this month, you'll become president and CEO of this global ministry. What's your vision moving forward?
I've always said our role as a ministry is to prepare for an open Iran, and that continues. It's not lost on me the very week that I should be busy thinking about what I'll be saying to my team, what I'll be saying to our trustees and partners as I take on this mantle. I'm busy dealing with what's happening in Iran, talking to friends like you, and I think, wow, isn't this interesting? The minute you think you have a handle on something, God raises the stakes. So my focus is going to be to make sure as a ministry we're ready to step in when we need to. We're expecting an open Iran imminently, so that means aid, it means infrastructure, it means Bibles, it means pastors, and we need to make sure that we're ready to move in when the doors open.
Well, congratulations on your new role, Lana, and we pray for you. God bless you, and thank you for your insights as always.
Thank you, Wendy.